You ever notice how you can be thinking of something and then suddenly you start to see it everywhere? You didn't Google it, you didn't say it out loud, it's just in your head. And then a commercial come on about it. You're scrolling social media and see a post about it, or somebody around you randomly brings it up, and you like, wait a minute, I was just thinking about that. It's the same thing when you want a certain car, or you just purchased it. Before you weren't seeing it like that nowhere. Now it's everywhere. It's on every corner, in every parking lot, at every stoplight. Is that a coincidence? Or did you just not notice it because it wasn't on your radar until you started to think about it or want it? And that's exactly how this relationship topic hit me. Why does it feel like I can't talk without it turning into an argument? Why does it feel like every time I bring something up, it gets reversed and now I'm the problem? Why can't I explain myself without being told I'm emotional, trolling, or wrong? Then you get to thinking, am I the problem? Am I wrong for saying something? Now I got you questioning yourself when you know you was just trying to have a conversation. Then you tell yourself, maybe it's just my situation. Maybe I need to find a better woman. These are just random thoughts. But then you go online and start scrolling and you come across a post from a man with the exact same issue that you're having with your woman. And then you start to see man after man after man having the same issue. Different ages, different races, different incomes, I suppose, and different walks of life. They all saying the same exact thing. And that's when it hits you. It ain't just me. Because here's the part that matters. These men don't share the same women, but they share the same problems. So now the question becomes, is it a coincidence? Is it a trend? Is it all women? Or do most men just keep choosing the wrong woman? Because when 90 out of 100 men are describing the same experiences, it's obviously not just a me problem. So let's talk about it. This is the Beyond Petty podcast. I'm your host, BZ2700. And today we're having a real conversation. We're asking the questions a lot of men are thinking, but don't always say out loud. Is it just me? Am I the only one going through this? Let's establish what men are actually complaining about. She won't submit. She won't listen to anything I have to say. She won't let me talk without talking over me. Every conversation turns into an argument. She never takes accountability. I don't feel heard, and I don't feel respected. Here's how most of these situations actually begin. A man speaks on something that's bothering him. It could be about money. It could be about parenting. It could be about her tone when she's talking to him. It can be about the lack of respect. It could be about boundaries. He brings it up, not yelling at her, not threatening her, and not trying to control her. Just explaining whatever it is that's bothering him. And instead of being heard, the conversation immediately shifts into an argument. You see, most women always focus on what your reaction was to the situation. They never want to acknowledge what caused you to react the way you reacted. But there's both, a cause and an effect. It's the effect what most women only focus on, but they never think about or care about the cause. They can't play the victim if they acknowledge the cause. Most men are playing defense in their situations, not offense. That brings me to accountability. Now let's break down the word. Accountability. Accountability is the obligation or willingness to accept responsibility for one's actions. Let me say that again. Accountability. The obligation and willingness to accept responsibility for one's actions. How do one show accountability though? By acknowledging and rectifying mistakes. What is a lack of accountability? There's many ways to show a lack of accountability, let's be real. But from my personal experience, this is the most used one. She plays the blame game whenever she did something that I didn't like and I addressed her about it. This is just an example. Now, I'm addressing her about something I didn't like. Her response would be something like, well, you did this or that before and I didn't say anything. And it'll most likely be something that happened 10 years ago. And I'm like, what? What does that have to do with what's going on right now? You bringing up old stuff from years ago? That was a long time ago. And if you didn't have nothing to say about it then, it couldn't have bothered you that much. So don't try to use that to justify your actions now. This is the type of stuff I will go through, and I'm sure many of y'all have experienced this same situation. After a while, a man learns something. Every time he brings something up, it becomes a fight. Every time he expresses how he feels, he's labeled emotional. Every time he says what he doesn't like, he's controlling. So what does he do? We stop talking. We shut down. We fall back. And then people ask, why don't men communicate? This is why. Another big issue is leadership. A lot of women say they want a leader. They want a man that's going to lead them. But the moment a man tries to lead, there's a lot of resistance. Especially if a woman makes her own money or more money than the man. And really, she only wants you to lead with the bills and the rent. She wants to run everything else. Because real leadership feels like a threat. Guidance feels like disrespect. Direction feels like control. So instead of cooperation, you get competition. Now the relationship becomes two people trying to win instead of two people trying to build and work as a team. I remember we was having a conversation and I was like, you want to do things separately instead of us working as a team. And I was told I'd be the first to admit that I'm not a team player. I was like, huh? How are you going to complain about wanting my help, but you don't want to work together as a team? What type of relationship is that? A perfect example, and this is an actual situation that took place more than a few times. I would ask her to do something around the store. We have a family store. And instead of what I asked her to do, she would be doing something that I'm already doing or something that I didn't need her help with. Or if a customer comes in through the door and I feel like they would be more comfortable with her instead of me, I'd ask her to go and talk with them and make sure that they're straight. She would ignore me and stand either behind the register or start doing something else. And it would make me upset because why are you here if you're not trying to help me how I want you to help me? See, she will help, but she's not going to help in areas I need help in. Her attitude is like, I'm going to help the way I want to help or I'm not going to help at all. Which she wouldn't say, but again, that's her attitude. Which of course would lead to an argument or me or her just walking out. I can't make this up. But let's move on and talk about bad friends and bad advice. Most women don't have good friends or nobody else around them to hold them accountable and let them know when they're wrong. A lot of their friends are either single or bad wives and girlfriends anyway. There's no friend or other woman that holds her accountable for her actions. If a woman goes and vents to her friend, that friend will likely tell her, you don't need that shit. You need to leave his ass. Girl, you don't have to settle. You know I have a cousin or a friend that's been waiting for you to leave him. They're likely to get told something like that before they ask, girl, what's the problem? Did you try to talk to him about it? What did you do to make him that way? Girl, you need to check yourself. You're about to break up your whole family because you want to control everything. Let that man be a man and lead you. I know you're mad right now, girl, but sit down and have a conversation with him nicely and express your concerns before you make the wrong decisions. These are the conversations women don't have with each other. Imagine a married man whom all of his friends were single and he said he wanted to go and hang out with the guys and have a few drinks. She'd have a problem with that, and that she should, because my single friends will more than likely be looking for women to talk to. I feel like once you become married or in a serious relationship, you shouldn't be hanging out with single friends. Your friends should consist of married couples, and that should go both ways. Now, it was a time when I was younger and immature, and I didn't think that way. There's no more big mamas either. A lot of these women have died off, sad to say. You know, the ones who will put you in your place for the way you treat or talk to a man. I don't even think these women are being raised or taught how to treat a man. They're being raised to be independent women, to not depend on a man, or to not need a man for anything. Pay attention to the family. It's a mix of half the alphabet letters without the vowels, so they don't know how to treat a man. Now, you do have some women that notice the same things men are frustrated about, and they call other women out on it, because they were once the same women and either lost a good man and realized they couldn't replace him, or they had someone sit them down and talk with them before they did lose their husband. But those women get labeled as pick-me's, which tells you everything you need to know. So when men say we're tired, we're not tired of women. We're tired of fighting to be heard. We're tired of explaining the same thing 100 different ways. We're tired of being blamed for reactions that came from ignored causes. So I ask a bigger question. Why are so many men sharing the same problems in their relationships, but they don't share the same woman? Drop your thoughts in the comments, speak on it. Whether you agree or disagree, that's fine. But be honest. Now, it's going to be a lot of petty stuff going on this week, and you might find yourself in a petty situation. But remember, when they get petty, we go beyond petty. This is the Beyond Petty podcast. I'm out.